Good morning, everybody. Yeah, welcome back to the show. This is episode 466 of the two average Yinzers, everybody. Yes, good morning.
I know we're gonna get into it, but I had so much fun with that yesterday.
That is the commemorative name of today's show. We are not the two dumb Yinzers. We are the two average white Yinzers today. So, um, that's what's going on with that. What's going on this morning, guys?
Uh, I'm living the dream. I can't wait. I can't wait to have some fun with this.
Derpy, how you doing? How's Hollywood treating you, man?
How's Hollywood, man?
Good, good.
Hollywood, good.
Hollywood Derpies living the dream.
Living it up.
Jack JSN caught the game-winning touchdown last night.
I saw that. Speaking of which, before we get into anything, did you see that that touchdown that T Higgins had the other day to win the game for the Bengals?
No,
Dude, he was about to get tackled at the one, and he spun his body around as he's going out of bounds and reached his arm back around inbounds to the inside of the
Oh
pylon.
wow.
It was really amazing. If you didn't get a chance to see it, check it out. Um, it was really good. It might be one of the better. It would be a highlight reel for sure. No two ways
Yeah.
about it. It
Well,
would be on
the
the
F the
highlight reel.
Bengals.
Yeah, if the Bengals.
F the Bengals.
The Bungles.
So I don't know. I guess everybody's chomping at the bit today. I see. People can't get enough of this Richard Mendenhall story. I can't pull his quote up for a moment. I'm going to do that just so we
Yeah.
can get it right. I don't want to get it wrong. You know what I mean?
Don't want to get it wrong. We got to get it right because it is it's a thing of beauty. And then
Poetry
I
emotion.
the Twitter the comments on I think he solved racism inadvertently.
Yeah,
I think he inadvertently solved racism
I do too. But explain. I know what you're saying, but explain what you mean so the listeners know
because
what you're
you
saying.
usually you get comments like that. People are going yeah or no. Even like everyone's going like I don't know man. This game might be a pretty good game. People are like coming up with rosters. People are like, okay, Max Crosby. You know, Team Black was like, hey man, we want Max Crosby. You know, he's out there smoking blunts and stuff. He's all tatted up. Like, who do you want for Max Crosby? We'll make some trades here. People are like, well, Patrick Mahomes, is he playing a half for each team? Someone's like, nah, man, he's big brother. He's playing for both teams, all time quarterback.
He's playing for the bitch team.
With his bitch hips.
Them bitch hips.
Well, then,
I sent Mike a picture earlier. He sends me this question. He's like, "Well, who does Patrick Mahomes play for?" And I sent him a huddle of a bunch of
the,
girls,
the lingerie league
the
team.
lingerie league. I don't want to see
The
him in
Karens.
lingerie.
Yeah. Did you find the quote?
I did.
Okay.
All right, you guys ready?
Oh,
So
I'm ready for this.
this is what
I'm
happened
ready for
yesterday.
this.
This is what happened yesterday. As we're going off, the big news was, of course, Mason Rudolph gets the nod. So I thought, okay, this is the news after we turn off the show, which a lot of times happens. For some reason,
Yeah.
you get that early afternoon news. Then this fine specimen pops up.
It always
Shard
happens after the
Mendenhall,
show.
a former Pittsburgh Steeler running back, as you all remember, he coughed up a very important fumble in the Super Bowl against the Packers after being hit by
Clay Matthews.
Clay Matthews. Apparently, that's his daddy. I guess I found this out. But hold on, let's dig into it. Here we go. Here's the quote, the tweet by Richard Mendenhall. I'm sick of average white guys commenting on football. Y'all not even good at football. Can we please replace the Pro Bowl with an all black versus all white bowl so these cats can stop trying to teach me on who's good at football? I'm better than your goat. Um, there's a lot to be said, and and as as Mike mentioned, there is a lot being said. It doesn't matter where you go right now. Somebody's talking about this, so that's why it was interesting, Mike, for me getting ready for the show and what approach to take to this. Because you could take the funny approach and you could talk about the teams and I think we'll
Mhm.
do that eventually here. But on the other hand, there's a bigger picture, I think. While the NFL they promote ending racism, it's in the back of the end zone.
Mhm.
And it says real big. It says end racism. And there's constantly the sweatshirt. And you've seen the sweatshirts the guys wore this week.
Yeah.
It was all the teams. They all were the the opportunity, the you know. So there's a lot to be said about this. And Richard Mendenhall makes this comment. Now, with that being said, what do you think, Mike, was his objective by hitting that tweet button? I mean,
I,
is he just so upset with white people that he has to lash out in a way to
Take,
show people that he feels a certain way? Is he? I mean, give
I,
me your topical
it's
take
bait.
first.
I don't know because he's had some wild tweets.
Takes.
Yeah, like the oh God, who was it? The Osama bin Laden one. Like, why are you all cheering his death? You don't know him. There's two sides to every story. He's like, people were saying like
What?
years ago, like he'll randomly like in interviews, like you won't even be talking about the Super Bowl. He'll flip out about that. I don't know if it's like from hatred of white people or just the dude is just a whack job or
And
a
it,
combination of both in an attention whore and like, hey, this will get people to look at me, talk to me, and blah blah blah. I don't know what his objective was.
See, a couple of things that you said, I totally agree with, because if you look at his most recent is it still a tweet even though it's X? Is it
Yeah, I think they still call it a tweet.
okay? So the most up to date that he had posted was a picture of him holding the AFC Championship trophy.
Yeah,
In the comment that he has up top is "This is me #champion." Meanwhile, you're not even a champion. That's not a
You're
championship
not a
trophy.
champion.
no,
Um,
we're
so
we're not the Nashville Predators. We're not hanging participation trophies up here.
I just
Good one, Mike.
Thank you.
but what I'm saying is this, guys. It almost seems like he is being an attention, but a very interesting, but effective way of getting everyone's attention. So I mean, if that be the case, but there's some underlying issues with this fella, because I don't recall exactly what it is, but the conversation, when he goes on and on about Big Ben and from the Super Bowl, and there's always seems to be some kind of animosity towards white people, and most people have generally just walked right by and said, "All right, dude, whatever."
Yeah,
And but at some point, and as I said, people are gonna have fun, and you know what? I hope that people have fun, because I don't think that everybody should get all pissed. But on the other hand, the league that you're talking about in this All Pro game, hypothetical or not,
yeah,
it is a league that's fighting very hard for
yeah,
equality for people of every color, whether you be
yeah,
black, whether you be white, whether whatever. So that's where I had problem
yeah.
trying to figure out which angle to take from on this. Um, it's very interesting,
Come
and
on, like literally. I'm sorry. What team is Christian Gonzalez going to play on?
well,
Rashard. We need we need
well,
we
that
need
would be,
Rashard to figure this one out.
yeah. And here's the thing: some of the people that are playing along, it's funny, and JJ Watt's playing along, and the people
But
over
like
on the
they're also calling him out too at the same time.
and
Like,
the people over on the PMS show, they're having fun with it. But on the other hand, there is a bigger issue at stake here, and at what point do you handle it for what it is?
yeah,
And and again, that's where I struggled with this, because we have a lot of black listeners, Mike. We have a lot
yeah,
of I have a lot of black people in my life, in my community,
yeah.
in my school, so I had to really look at this
Mm-hmm.
and think about it very hard
Yeah.
before I tackled this. I do want to say that Rashard Mendenhall is he's a nothing to Pittsburgh. I mean, the only
Yeah.
thing that people know about him is he fumbled the ball away in the Super Bowl, and that's the
And that's
so
That's
it.
about it.
Yeah.
yeah, he was a midget. He was drafted out of Illinois. He was just not very effective. I think that what's the guy, Willie Parker, was the guy he took his position. I think Willie Parker was a way better running back than he
Oh yeah.
was. So at the end of the day, is this just Rashard? And if it is just Rashard being Rashard, how do you handle that as an average white guy?
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: a lot of guys are going to have fun and make fun and have fun with this thing. But on the other hand, there's going to be people that are offended as if the shoe was on the other foot. You
Yeah.
have to consider that as well, because if we start this conversation on this show, or somewhere where it's basically the shoes on the other foot,
Mm-hmm.
this would be a whole different
Oh
argument.
yeah.
So where do you come in, Mike? What do you think, man?
I know. I saw it. I was like, that has to me. It was like one of the dumbest things I ever read, and I'm glad people were like, everyone across the board. Even before they started making fun of it, were like, dude, that was like one of the most bigoted and racist things you could say. So like,
It
people are
wasn't
acknowledging.
tactfully written or not. I mean,
No, no.
it
Like you
was
could
written to
like
hurt.
It was, yeah, because like, dude, come on, like, you're, are you a better football player than Tom Brady? No. Are you a better athlete? Probably. You're a running back. You better be a better athlete than a pocket passing
Than a
quarterback.
50-year-old white guy.
Yeah. Hey, shit, dude. Yeah, you're more athletic than me, but you're a better athlete, but that doesn't make you a better football player. It just means you're more athletic. Doesn't mean you know that you can play the game better than he can.
Right.
So that's right there. The other stuff, like I got fans talking about football. Yeah, that's not going to stop anyone talking from football, Rashad. That's just going to make certain people talk even louder about it.
Well, here's the thing. What's the business of it? People want to talk about football. They're allowed to talk
Yeah,
about football. You know,
yeah,
the average white guys, we have as just much right to talk as you, and we're using it to talk about football and something constructive. And you're
we're
turning
being
around
constructive.
using that platform
Yeah,
to talk
yeah,
about something hateful and
yeah,
bigoted. And
yeah. And anyone who uses their platform, I don't care who you are, for anything negative, you're that it's a waste and it's stupid. And like Ryan said, it's hurtful. It doesn't help anyone or anything. It can. My God, it hurts. People like you, Richard, because you're making those comments, and that can hurt your community too. That's not, my God, dude, think before you tweet stuff. Think
and what
before
are you
you
gonna,
say stuff.
and what you're out to hurt average white people who talk about football?
Shit,
That
dude.
seems to be that what your objective is. These people are
Yeah,
average working people. The average white man, the average white
yeah,
guy
like,
is a working guy who sits down and watches football on Sunday and
yeah,
they want to talk about it.
hmm,
You have a problem so much to
yeah,
where you have to come with a bigoted comment
yeah,
is my problem.
yeah. Like, I understand. I like trying to like analyze and dig down deep why he would say this. He's probably in his mind, he's like, everyone's blaming me for the Super Bowl loss, and I wasn't the only one who made mistakes
For
in
A
that
one,
team
everybody
game.
loss is a
forgot
team
about it.
loss.
For
But he
two,
was
nobody,
like, but he's like, it was the last mistake made. Like Ben had those picks, Ben made bad choices. The defense gave up a ton of yardage. Troy got burnt. But you know what, Richard? They're Hall of Famers. You're not, and it sucks. But you're going to be the scapegoat for it because people don't want to blame Ben. People don't want to blame Troy. Who are they going to blame? The guy
Exactly.
who had the fumble at the end. Okay,
yeah.
it sucks. It comes with the territory. Just eat it and bury it deep down inside.
And that's the thing when it comes
That's what
to
sucks. I can only think maybe that's like where his hatred of everything is coming from, is like being scapegoated for that
but
loss.
Mike, you got to think of it this way too. It's not even about
Yeah,
and he's making it a race thing because if I
because
don't
it's
blame
not.
Ben Roethlisberger, it's not a race thing because if I don't
It's
blame
not.
Ben Roethlisberger for losing the Super Bowl, even though he threw two interceptions,
Mhm.
you hit the nail on the head. He's a Hall of Famer. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Richard
That's the difference.
Mendenhall.
Yeah,
There's nobody
yeah,
cares about what color you are. Nobody cared about what
yeah,
color you are. Even if somebody in your life did or gave you a problem or said something that has nothing to do with everybody else, all the rest of the average white guys had nothing to do with this. And two, everybody is always going to jump on Ben's side again because he was here and he won a Super Bowls and
yeah,
he's the MVP and he was a quarterback. So get off of that. You're never going to win that
yeah. And
battle. You're not going to win that battle in any
mm-mm.
city. You're not going to win that battle anywhere. You're dumb. You come off as dumb. You look
Yeah,
dumb. And to use a race is something to propel yourself back into the attention of people. I think is a weak, pathetic
it
um,
was. Yeah,
Low.
it's
strategy.
low. Like Derpy said, it's low, and like you said, Ryan, like anyone who uses races for like an attack like that, it's just from a place of weakness.
He could have, and the thing is,
And it sucks. Like it that diminishes people who have been victims of stuff like that because of their ethnicity or gender or
right.
sexuality. It that
Yeah.
weakens them. That hurts them. That hurts other minorities across the entire spectrum. And so,
But no,
like,
all
yeah.
right.
Well,
All
you know
right.
what I
So
mean. It's
I'm
like a
tired of
big sociological thing, and it's yeah. Comments like that when stuff that he's saying, that's not the reason why.
so now,
That affects everyone.
Mike, we laid our groundwork. The question is, who's our quarterback going to be? You got to go with
Well,
Brady.
like I said, we need
Why
to
not Rudolph?
like okay, how racist is Rashard Mendenhall getting here? Is it like the one drop rule from back in the 1800s? I need to know this, Rashard. I need some ground rules. So I think, for sake of argument, Patrick Mahomes is out.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't want Mahomes anywhere.
I've seen a lot of
He
people
got
online
bitch
saying
hips.
that as well. He's either playing a half for either team or he's all-time quarterback. I think for our argument, he's out.
I think for the
I'm
shape
taking
of
Josh Allen. I
I
am
think for
taking
the
Josh
shape of his
Allen.
pelvic bone, he should be a cheerleader, but that's just me. Listen,
I'm taking Josh Allen.
you want Josh Allen as our all, but isn't it all
No,
time or is it just like what's out there now?
who's out there right now? Current players.
Oh, wow.
I'm taking my quarterbacks are Josh Allen, Joe
Well, we're
Burrow,
gonna
and
get
Brock
killed.
Purdy.
I gotta tell you,
Give me
gotta
Brock
tell you,
Purdy. Fine, we're going
if
Brock
we're only
Purdy.
picking what's out there now, I thought we had the
No,
full
no,
range.
it's what's now.
No.
It's what's now.
Because who the hell's gonna play corner? I mean, at least we had Jason
Corner.
Sehorn.
Okay, we got the white guy from Iowa who was drafted, and we're gonna
The fact that he's only known
and
as
we're
the
getting
white
the
guy
other
from
white guy
Iowa
from
speaks
Iowa who's a
volumes.
first
We're
round
gonna get our
pick.
asses kicked.
Safety, we got Blankenship from Philly, and we got Harrison Smith from the Vikings. So
Harrison Smith's really good.
Our secondary, we like I saw a couple guys saying like we got to play a lot of cover two, maybe just play deep, okay. So we're shaky there.
Bang these guys over the head with hammer. I mean, come on.
But you got to think running back. We have Christian McCaffrey. Okay, we got Christian McCaffrey. Wide receiver, Cooper Kupp.
We got a bunch of midgets. Everyone on our team is under 4 foot
here
tall.
We go. Here's where we have the advantage. We're going big personnel across the board. We're going Kelsey, Kittle, Mark Andrews.
All on the line?
No. These are
just our tight ends.
Tight ends. We're going big. We're going big personnel. Every tight end out there that we can find. They are playing. Line. Come on, we got Jason Kelsey at center. We can move Creed Humphreys out from center to guard. We some pretty good tackles out there. Maybe we might struggle a little at tackle, but I think we'll be fine. We just
I gotta say, we'd be better than the Steelers. If we get to play the Steelers, our team would be fine. But if we're going to be playing the Tyreek Hills and the guys that
see, okay,
this cat runs like a cheetah, Mike.
Here's the thing. Look, we have Max Crosby, we got the Bosas, we got TJ Watt,
we got Justin Tucker.
None of these people could catch.
A couple people like
Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, like he was at Will Compton and Emmanuel Echo, two former players. They had their whole thing. Each one had separate videos going through like position by position, and at the end they were both like, kickers. Yeah, that's Team White. That's all we have. We better hope. We have to keep this.
We're gonna have to trade some kickers for some cornerbacks. Is what's gonna have to happen.
That's the thing. We got to figure out
because they have no kickers and we have no corners.
Kickers. We have all the kickers, so I think some trades will be available there. A little goodwill, a little harmony. We'll get Paul McCartney in the CG in the AI of Michael Jackson singing "Ebony and Ivory" at halftime. Okay. We got
black and white cookies for the children.
Rashad Mendenhall is bringing people together.
I like the way that you turn that, Mike. I like the way that you're bringing people together.
John, Mike.
I'm trying here. I'm trying.
You earned a star. If I had some kind of sound effects as a star, I would give you one. But this is going to be what you get.
Well, yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
That's all I want to do.
There you go.
Because I'm trying to figure out, like, we're gonna get killed on the offensive line. We'll hold our own on the O line. It's the D line and the secondary is where we're gonna get our asses beat. But special teams, man. Presley Harvin's their punter.
I like that. You gotta like that.
They're gonna have Justin Reed, the safety from Kazee will be their kicker, but he kicked extra points. So he can kick to 35.
Who's the coach?
Someone had the coaching staff. It was who's the coach down in Houston? D'Amico Ryans, Mike Tomlin, and Eric Bieniemy were their coaches. Team White had, I think, Andy Reid. And the coach from San Francisco. Those were the coaching staffs. Right. They even segregated the coaching staff.
Hugh Jackson.
I was dying with some of these people coming up.
So there you have it, everybody.
If it's current rosters, we're kind of screwed. If it's all time, we get Jason Sehorn.
if we could, the thing
We could
is, it would
Blitnikoff.
increase, it would greatly increase our talent. However, it would also greatly increase their talent as
Oh yeah,
well.
Mean Joe Green, Aaron Donald. We're screwed.
Yeah, I mean,
We're
come on.
screwed. We're screwed.
Mel
Anytime you
Blunt,
think about that, it's
Mel
like,
Blunt, Deion Sanders, Rod Woodson. We're screwed.
We're screwed.
no, Rod Woods might be on the fence too, though. I mean,
What?
he's
That's true. See, this is why
yeah.
we need Rashad Mendenhall to figure out who's white, who's black. He's
the head racist here.
like him and David Duke have to figure this out.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go, everybody. Your daily racism here on the Two Average White
bringing
Guys.
everyone together.
Yeah, it's fun. It's funny. It's wild. It's something. Again. Ay.
I hate people. I'm moving to Mars. Who's coming with me?
Mike,
NASA.
NFL suspends safety DeMonte Kazee for the rest of the season for violating playing rules intended to protect the health and safety of players. 5. This is the 5th fine this year that he's received. Do you think that he got the 5? Do you think he got the suspension for the rest of the season because of this particular hit, or do you think that he got the suspension for the rest of the season because this is his 5th offense in such a
both.
little of both?
Little both.
I just
because
think the league's soft.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like what hits has he laid out people to where, oh my god, that's just, fine worthy, suspension worthy. None come to mind.
Yeah,
they just hate the Steelers.
Yeah, and like Tom Brady came to his defense. He's
I
like,
saw that. Yeah,
he's like, this is on the quarterback. He's like, throw a better ball. Don't put your guys out to dry.
Well, I heard that argument, and I think to myself, that's easy for Tom Brady to say.
Yeah, because
who could thread a needle from 50
he's
yards away? But if it's Gardner Minshew, I mean, can you, and guys like this, can you really keep that argument? Some of these guys can't get the ball in the right part of the field. You see this going on. But I get what he's saying.
The sentiments there, and even what their former Steeler, who was it, Mike Mitchell, and I think he's part of the secondaries coach in Indianapolis. He's like, what is Kazee supposed to do there? Is he supposed to let him catch the ball and fall down? He's like, yeah, Pittman's my guy. He's on my team. I'm glad he's okay. I hope he, gets better. But at the same time, as a football player and fan, and as a former DB, what are you supposed to do in that situation? Because if Kazee lets him catch the ball and he taps him on the ground, that's a first down, and people are going, "What are you doing? Why didn't you try to make a play on the ball?"
Nobody mentions how Pittman just gets right up.
I got to tell you,
it took him a minute to get up, Derpy. Took him a minute.
He still got up without any. He still got up.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't know who he is or where he's at right now, but he's up.
Well, they know the risk. They know the risk.
Might think that he should be on the white team, but we're not sure.
Okay, we'll trade Max Crosby for Michael Pittman. We need a receiver.
Well, I got to tell you, I was just going to say, I rewatched the game last night, just kind of refreshing. And
you must hate yourself.
Well, Michael Pittman, he was getting beat, he was getting beat all game. I mean, anytime that he caught the ball, Kazee was in his ass.
Yeah.
And I'm watching back, I'm thinking, wow, it was that hit was the last of a series of hits. Mm-hmm. Kazee was racking him, man. I you gotta like the way Kazee plays. As Derpy goes on, it's a little bit, we're kind of leaving that era, unfortunately. But to watch him play and to watch him hit, it really takes you back to a Ryan Clark. And it's for older guys who could appreciate that. It was fun to watch, man. Michael Pittman was getting.
He was, like you said, he was laying the wood, and like that's the kind of safety you need. But like Derpy's saying, the league is legislating that stuff out of the game. Like I'm all for
because they're soft.
I'm all for player safety but at the same time,
they know the risk, Mike. They know the risk.
But
they sign waivers and all that.
Head hit hits the head happen as long as they're not targeting intentionally. And Kazee was not. He was literally diving where
making
the
a
ball
football
was
play.
going.
He's just a hard hitter,
and you can't.
He was taught by people that loved it. He
didn't have the time to, adjust his hit. We've seen hits where guys just blatantly dive at someone's head. Yeah, that shit can't happen. But where you're making a play, a guy turns a certain way, you don't anticipate that. That's not on the defensive player. They're not doing it intentionally. This hit was not intentional. So it's a joke.
So we're now without two. We're out without 3 safeties. Mainly, Minka is out with his hand. Kazee is out with his suspension. We have, our main linebackers, our starters, they're all out.
Social media suspension.
What's that?
His social media suspension.
Who is?
Kazee. Because the league's soft now.
But so I mean, that this doesn't make things any easier for the Steelers. The Steelers have a rough path right now, guys. They have a 9% chance of making the playoffs. 9%.
You're telling me there's a chance.
I'm telling you there's a chance. And only I'm going to tell you there's a chance, guys. I'm going to tell you what circumstances need to happen in order for the Steelers to make the playoffs. So if you're ready,
I'm ready for
this. Is what needs to happen.
There is a crazy chance because I looked at the schedules.
So here we go. These are the Pittsburgh Steelers playoff scenarios. The Steelers have to win out, of course. They have to beat Cincinnati at home and then Seattle, who just beat Philadelphia last night, and also the Ravens on the road. So, winning all 3 of the games that we have in front of us, now at least 3 of these 6 things need to happen. This is where we're at, guys. 3 of these 6 things need to happen. The Buffalo Bills need to lose 1 game. They play the Chargers, the Patriots, and the Dolphins.
Okay.
The Dolphins might be.
Maybe.
And or the Browns need to lose 2 games. They play the Texans, the Jets, and the Bengals.
Okay. All right.
And or the Broncos need to lose 1 game. They play New England, Chargers, Raiders.
Okay, that Raiders game is losable.
And or the Jacksonville need to lose 2 games. Tampa Bay, the Panthers, and the Tennessee Titans are who they have left.
Yeah, they're not losing.
And or the Colts need to lose 2 games to Atlanta, Las Vegas, and Houston. And finally, the Texans also would be a team that needs to lose 2 games. And they play Cleveland, Tennessee, and Indianapolis. So, with this being said,
so they can't lose the Cleveland game. Okay.
So, with this being said, we got to win these last 3 games, which again, we're in a more of a skeleton crew than we've been with. Again, the players that we just lost that we had last week that we don't have available this week alone. And 3 of these 6 options need to happen. 3 of them need to happen, and the Steelers need to win every single one of their games. And the Steelers will be going and punching their tickets for the NFL playoffs of 2023.
It will come down to the last week.
like
Everything will fall
in
place except for 1 game, and it will be decided by a last-second.
Like last year.
I think you're really being generous. I don't know.
No.
How's this team even going to get to that point? How are we going to beat Cincinnati and Seattle?
We are going 7-10.
I think if anything, we may get 1 win out of it. It's going to be hard to think that we're going to lose 6 straight games. And if we do,
we'll beat Baltimore and drop out of the top 10 in the draft.
Right. You're right. That's kind of something what I'm thinking.
We'll go from like 10 to 15 in the draft. It will happen.
Because losing 6 games in a row is hard for anybody. I mean, you got to be one of the worst teams. And if that's the case, and we are the worst team, that maybe will help more in the offseason, and that will help people in the office figure out what it is that we have to do.
It's a wake-up call. Yeah.
Because, a lot of the bullshitters, it's been bullshitting along for the past, however long, something, they got to dig in and pull out the weeds, man. They have to pull out the weeds because the weeds are killing all the beautiful flowers here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. I don't know how many beautiful flowers we have on that team, but they need to hit rock bottom. You can't get better until you hit rock bottom, and they need to hit rock bottom. 7-10, 6-game losing streak. That's rock bottom.
As Mike mentioned, the Steelers they are jockeying for a draft order pick. Right now, we're sitting at 16. And I'm looking at all these teams that are top 10. They're all the teams that are just bad teams. You got your Jets and your Giants and your Chargers and Atlanta and the Bears and the Commanders and Arizona. And then there's the Steelers. You know what I mean? It's just going to be such a weird thing, but we have to do it. We have to do it. And a lot of people are saying, if we could get in that top 10, we might be able to get our guy that we would, somebody that could be like for just off the top of my head, like a Dak Prescott or somebody that could be a steady quarterback. But there's others that don't even think we're going to touch a quarterback this year in the draft. There's others that think that we're not going to touch a quarterback in the first round. Terry Bradshaw saying grab offensive line, and this person's saying that, this person's saying that. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this offseason plays out. And I don't know how much of it's going to depend on what we see in the last 3 weeks. I think maybe we already know what we know.
Yeah.
And if we already know what we know, and you're in a position in the top 10, Mike, who do you go after? Let's take out the chance that that person might have even already been drafted. If there's a top 10 pick, who do you think the Steelers should take, no matter who it is? Even if you think this person at number 1 is going to go, who would you like in that top 10 that you think would be the best possible pick for the Steelers?
For team needs right now in the top 10 people that are mocked there and figured there, it's coming down to two. Joe Alt, tackle out of Notre Dame, or Ola Fashanu, the tackle out of Penn State.
So you're feeling the tackle a lot. A lot of people are saying the tackle.
I'm feeling the tackles. Interior lineman for center, you get them in the second round, maybe third round.
All right. So there you have it, guys. The draft will be right around the corner. Here is their playoff picture at the moment, guys. Number 1 with the number 1 seed in the bye, the Ravens at 11-3. Number 2, the Dolphins at 10-4. The Chiefs 9-5. Jacksonville at 8-6. Look if we could have just been a decent team, how we could be in such in the middle of this.
Just like one win anywhere this season.
Right.
So it's one more win.
So out of the division leaders, outside of that, the Browns at the number 5 with a 9-5 record. Bengals on the number 6 with the 8-6, and then the Colts in that 7 spot with an 8-6. In the hunt, the Texans with an 8-6, Bills with an 8-6, Steelers and Broncos both with 7-7, and the Raiders even considered in the hunt with a 6-8 record. So guys, we can't lose no more. That's as much as we've said it over the past 3 years. It's etched in stone. You lose this week, I don't know if they'll mathematically be out, but I think it'll be next to impossible. And at this point, is it really even worth trying to grasp these straws?
Not really.
No.
Derpy.
No. Not really.
Just almost kind of, let's let this thing play out, get the season over, enjoy the playoffs, hope somebody we don't hate wins the Super Bowl, and get ready for the draft.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. And God, I'm playing Mason Rudolph the rest of the year. Just let him play it out. I don't care if Kenny's healthy. Just let Mason play it out. Let Kenny rest. Let him watch the rest of the season from the sidelines, not as a punishment, but hey, you took a beating.
You don't want him hurt if he's the guy.
You don't want to. Yeah, if you think he's going to be your guy, let him play or let him rest and sit down and watch the game.
As I mentioned, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I just think he needs that's what he needs at this point, just watch, because he's out there. When he's out there, it's not who we saw at the end of last year, not who we saw in training camp and in the preseason. Totally different quarterback.
In other words, if Kenny
game.
Pickett is in there's a chance this dude might pull something off and it might screw up our draft.
He's gonna fuck up the draft pick.
Okay, that's what I was hearing as you were talking. That's what was coming into my earphones.
Yeah,
of course
he will keep the game close, because he will take the chance and turn the ball over. We won't score, but we won't get scored on.
Yeah,
I want guys in there that are going to be gamblers.
Mason Rudolph was named the starter of this week, but KP has not been rolled out. We're calling on Rudy to pull the sleigh, Mike.
Hell yeah, man!
Maybe
calling on Rudolph.
He is going to
lead
Rudolph. The sleigh.
Yeah,
man. What's that?
Mason's gonna, his nose is gonna shine bright. He's gonna lead us to 10-7 and just outside the playoffs.
Wouldn't that be crazy if he ended out starting and he got us the record and drove us out of the top 10 and got us a number 20 draft pick or something crazy like this?
So
I wouldn't be surprised with how the season has went overall in the NFL.
Last night, guys, the Seattle Seahawks beat the Philadelphia Eagles. That's 3 losses in a row for the Eagles. To mention how the season is going after starting undefeated for the first 10 games or whatever it was. Also, I do want to talk about these picks in just a moment. Let me just make sure we got anything else. I want to make sure I don't have anything else here as far as our Steeler talk that we need to hit. Mike Tomlin has a little bit more of a serious tone. I don't know if you saw any interviews between yesterday and today, but all of a sudden he doesn't sound like the bullshitter. He has a very serious tone. And one thing he said in quote is everything, guys, is on the table. in referring to fixing this team. Everything is on the table, Mike.
Yeah. Can we just trade everyone and start from scratch?
Trade TJ. No, I'm joking.
You know.
I did that in my Madden franchise and it worked. We were in salary cap hell for a year. I traded TJ, Minka, Cam, Highsmith.
Do you know what Tomlin
traded Muth?
You know what Tomlin comment didn't age well? And when I say didn't age well, I mean like within the last 8
The
days.
standard is the standard.
Tomlin confident in team depth for the playoff run.
Hey, you gotta instill confidence in the team.
That did not age well. Again, just last week we spoke about that.
That's like, like, oh man, my kid is so good, guys. Wait till you see what he does, and the kid fucks up. You can sit there staring at him like, you motherfucker. Yeah, that's what Tomlin's dealing with right now. A bunch of kids letting him down.
Eminem,
he can't
my boy. This Mark Madden. Now I went off on him, and it seemed like every day that since I went off on this guy and talked about him on our show, he says something that I like. Now every day I went years and I couldn't take the guy, and the sound of his voice just makes me want to throw up. But now he's Mark Madden. He says Pickens, Deontay, and Najee should all be gone after this season. He says they had clean house to the sense to where you're even getting your Najees and shipping them out and Pickett. Maybe. Do you think, Mike? Do you think it's so crazy to think that we could seriously pull the trigger and get rid of some of these big play makers and big names? And if that's the case, what's the reward? What's the return? What can we get for these guys that can be beneficial in building this team back up?
I'm definitely trading Najee, and I'm definitely trading Pickens. Like, Pickens' attitude, there's no redeeming that. Najee with his condescending attitudes in the press.
So you'd be all aboard.
I'm a hit or miss with. Yeah, he had that game where he didn't go for the fumble, but this is a guy. He tries to say the right team, tries to do the right stuff, but I'll be okay trading with all of them.
I would be too. I'd be fine trading with all of them.
Anyone on this team.
I'm not married to Deontay. Everybody knows this. And as far as the other two, I understand they have big play potential. But you know what? When was the last time you seen either one of these guys? They were consistent, lightly consistent while we were playing okay football. Najee was getting some nice running. Have nice running yards and over periods of games. And Pickens, he's good for a nice catch here and there. And But I'm not married to any of these guys. I wouldn't be sad to see. And again, as Coach Tomlin said, everything is on the table, even what Mr. Madden over there put up.
Yeah, like with Pickens, like he had like Tomlin sat him down and talked to him. Like, hey, you gotta show the effort out there. You got to stop pouting. And what does he do? He goes out there. Yeah, he ran down that first interception because he made a mistake. And then the second one, he was running the other way. Then he missing a big block. Like, this kid doesn't get it. This kid doesn't
get it. You're right.
He has all the talent in the world, but there's
a knucklehead.
There's something up there. He's a weird guy, but it's not the quirky, fun weird. It's the weird that borderlines on shooting yourself in the foot. Like, you're gonna sabotage.
It's that Antonio Brown ego.
I don't know if it's the ego or it's just the immaturity.
Something similar.
Or I don't know what it is. It's just, at least AB had the ego, but he went out there and backed it up. And he would, if there were picks, he'd run back, try to make the tackle. He'd always run his routes hard. With George, I don't know what it is. It's like he gets discouraged quick. He's that guy, like, when things are going well, he is great. When they aren't going well, he can't handle that adversity well. He doesn't know how to deal with it. Because he's probably been so good his entire life on great teams. They haven't had that setback. So there's just something with him.
Yeah, usually guys like this, when you go that way. When you go lower than college, Mike, these guys in football, they're freaks, and especially somebody that has the talent that he has. Yeah. He was a god. You know, everybody loved him, and he went to college. Everyone loved him, and he won a national title. The guy doesn't know how to handle himself in this in a professional environment, because
Yeah.
you're not going to win all the time in the NFL.
Yeah.
And guess what? This is the top. You know, if you don't like this,
Yeah.
go to the XFL. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, and like he just doesn't know how to process that.
No.
And like and Allen Robinson, he's been trying to deal with him because Allen Robinson even admitted like, hey, when I was younger, I was that diva, I was that jerk, and I
I've
realized
seen like these guys getting older.
guy.
You know, even in any sport, I like seeing them, the young knuckleheads that grow up and watch that process. Because even Dion was a knucklehead, and all these guys.
Yeah.
And to see them at an older age, like whenever they're accomplishing things and finally getting recognized for their due diligence, and to hear them talk, it's really cool a lot of times. I like listening to Dion. I like listening to a lot of these guys that I didn't like early in their career because they was just such a knucklehead.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So maybe that'll change for him.
Yeah, you see Allen Robinson saying that he's trying to be a leader in that room, and I think he's rubbing off a little on Deontay because Deontay has been very accountable this year for everything he's done wrong. He still has those pouty moments on the sideline, so he's still trying to. He's in that in between phase of being that George Pickens to being that Allen Robinson type maturity, but sometimes he might need to go elsewhere just to blossom into that mature adult.
That's the thing. I don't want to.
That's what George needs to. I think
I don't want to see George fail in life. I'd like to see him do great, but you know what? If it's not going to happen here, it might be somewhere else. And you know what? If that be the case, he wouldn't be the first person that left Pittsburgh. You know?
And like one thing I like about these guys that we've named, George, Deontay, and Najee, none of them have off the field issues.
No.
It's just that's what's
it's just the on.
It's just like the brain to work right and do the right things on the field.
And at the end of the day, that's what I'm watching for. I'm watching what these young men are doing on the field, and
that's why if someone's an asshole off the field but they perform on the field, I will take that guy.
Yeah, it depends.
Over the saint off the field that can't do shit on the field, unless it's Troy.
It all depends on the person. It's hard to paint that.
I was painting with a broad brush.
You were painting with a broad brush. Mike Derpy, Brock Purdy, currently front runner for MVP in the NFL. Do you take the argument that 15 other guys in the NFL can be put in that position and be just as successful? And do you believe that he is is the MVP in the league? Is there anybody else that you think is comparable that should be in the race?
Stroud
as well? I mean, Derpy says CJ Stroud. I mean, people like Purdy. They like what he's doing down there. So you were on the Purdy train, Mike?
I'm on the Brock Purdy train. People like to say, you can put anyone in that system, they'll succeed. Where's Trey Lance? Where's
no, and that's the thing. I disagree.
It's like
I do agree with you, because what happened to those guys that were in that position that didn't do what he did
from FCS?
So you're 100% right. I don't think you can stick anybody in there.
Yeah, no, but like he knows how to run that offense. There's nothing wrong with it, but like you watch him play, and you watch people like ex quarterbacks who break down film who know what to look for. They're blown away by his mechanics and his anticipation and just how well he knows that offense. And shit, man, Tom Brady. If you want to say, oh, this quarterback's a game manager, that's a bad thing, or a system quarterback, Tom Brady was a system quarterback. He ran that New England system of the crossing routes and that couple deep shots.
He just read the zones.
He ran that to perfection, and he won how many MVPs and how many Super Bowls. There's nothing wrong with being a system quarterback.
So that means
might be a system quarterback.
So that equates to this: 53 guys on 32 different teams. Brock Purdy is the MVP in this league. You think all around the league. You think receivers. You think of Tyreek Hill and all the greats. Yeah. And Brock Purdy would be somebody that you would be fine with being the MVP of the league.
For me, the MVP, because in the true sense, most valuable player, the most valuable to their team would be CJ Stroud.
Is it the most valuable to their team, or is it the most valuable in the league?
That's what I don't know, because most people say
that's
it's
the
like,
difference.
They're the most valuable.
Because our most valuable guy doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter. I mean, it would be the most valuable in the league, I think, right?
Yeah, I would think, and
and he's better than all the other.
Two quarterbacks have failed in that offense, and he's thriving in it. So, sure, why not?
I
Like
mean,
he's
I
having
don't
like
think I
statistically
don't
he's
think that
having a
those
better
other. I mean,
year.
Garoppolo did
Yeah.
fine. He had injury issues, and
Yeah.
but just that's definitely something that's been
TJ Watt.
talked about. Also, Mike Derpy, the Texans, uh, and the Titans game the other day. I don't know if you noticed, but I seen it and I liked it. The Texans went ahead and they wore their Oilers uniforms. They won, but I think it's funny that they decide to wear them when they play the team that's actually from Houston.
Yes, I like it. I love it, and that's just a little rubbing it in.
And even Vrabel came out with the old cowboy hat, like Jerry Glanville. He used to come out with the
Uh-huh.
the Cowboys hat, or the.
Yeah.
So that was
I
fun.
like
I
it.
like that. I like what they're doing, especially being against Houston. That was neat, and I like seeing them old unis. I don't care what anybody
Yeah, hey,
says.
Tennessee, you left. You abandoned Houston. So therefore, you don't have a right to that team anymore.
To be fair, I've been taking Mike, as you noticed the past week or so, we've been taking commentary from a source outside of here, Shannon Sharp, but I'm gonna make it fair. I do have something that Skip Bayless said that
Oh,
I found
Christ.
interesting. And I just want to be fair, and I don't want to seem like I'm only going, with Shannon. So this is something that Skip Bayless said about the Dallas Cowboys. He says, I'm so embarrassed. The Cowboys are not what I thought. They are fraudulent pretenders, home product phonies. Maybe they can draw the NFC South winner and win one playoff road game before getting shamed the following week. Mike,
Woo.
to be
Finally,
fair, we're
something to
going to
agree
talk
with Skip
about what
Bayless.
Skip Bayless has to say. What do you think about that? Does he hold any water?
Like what Derpy said, who would have thought I would agree with Skip Bayless? Today's
What's
a day
going
of
on?
firsts.
I'm agreeing with Matt. You're
Man,
agreeing with
Skip-
Bayless.
Yeah, that might be the smartest thing Skip Bayless ever said. And he said at his current age he can gain a yard in the NFL.
Yeah.
So yeah, Skip Bayless says a lot of stupid things. That might be the most intelligent thing he has ever said.
So there you go. That's what Skip Bayless had to say about the Dallas Cowboys. It's going to be interesting over there in the NFC. I you got to like with the Eagles, but again, they lost 3 straight games. Dallas, they're
Ooh.
good, but they're inconsistent. They can't beat anybody that's good. San Francisco's good. Got to be my team. It's who I took at the beginning of the season. I'm going to stick with my 49ers, just because they have potential to be such a dominant team.
Yeah.
And if they could consistently keep that, and it's going to come down to Brock Purdy. I mean, they have all the weapons in all the right places. McCaffrey's going to do his thing. Debo's going to do his thing. All them guys are going to do their thing. So it's going to come down to, I think, Brock Purdy in this kind of season. Let's just say an MVP season for Brock Purdy. What if this cat goes and wins a Super Bowl? That changes the game a lot in the whole Brock Purdy conversation.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. From Mr. Irrelevant to league MVP, Super Bowl champion, maybe Super Bowl MVP, and he's still on a rookie contract. San Francisco, they are going to be living large for another what? This is what his second year in the league.
Yeah, it's only his second year.
So another 2 more years, he doesn't have the 50-year option. My God, they're going to be living large because they won't be able to afford him if he keeps playing the way he keeps playing. Who would have thought Brock frickin' Purdy?
Well, then it's going to be interesting. If they can't afford him and he goes to the Jets, then we're going to really get a taste. We're going to get a taste of what Brock Purdy is, and you take
the Jets to a Super Bowl.
Well, if that's the case, then we
what
know
Aaron Rodgers couldn't do.
If he does, then we know this guy is the MVP. It's undisputed. If he wins the MVP in San Francisco with this team, there's still going to be questions.
He'll come to Pittsburgh and win an MVP.
I mean, as it may.
We need.
I don't. Okay. I just what I'm saying.
I know. I just want Brock. I just want someone in the MVP conversation on my team.
But like I said, if he leaves San Francisco, we'll see. We'll see what he is, and
we'll see.
It'll be interesting. But you know what? If the 49ers are smart at this point, there's nothing that tells me they would want to go any different direction. And he doesn't set the world on fire like a Joe Burrow does, but he will still get his flowers when it comes time to figure out what the contracts are, because again, his team is doing nothing but winning, and that's the goal, right?
And speaking of Philly, you want to talk about the drama going on with the Steelers? Jalen Hurts calling out his teammates.
What did he say?
He's saying, from the way it looks, it does not look like everyone is committed on this team.
Oh, you lose 3 straight games on a team that good. Nope, he's right.
We're not the only team having problems.
Yeah. My problem with Hurts is this: it's nothing even it's irrelevant. Why does it look like he's mounting a horse when he's back in shotgun? Who stands like that?
I fucking hate you. Now I can't unsee that. I can't unsee it.
Like there should be a
He
donkey or
does look
something
like
under.
he's
What is that? I hate
He
that.
looks scared too.
I hate you so
Like how you
much.
like if you're pooping in the woods or outside or
Yeah, he
something. That's how
has
you
that.
would. That's how you would do. That's how you would stand.
He gets so wide and down and bow legged.
Yes. But don't why? Why are you doing that, dude? You know. Uh Penguins.
I hate you. That's all I'm gonna see now when
Well,
I
come
watch him
on. You
play.
can't tell me that doesn't crush your mind every single time you see the Eagles play. I'm right.
It
Come
does
on.
now. God
Uh
damn you. Damn you to hell.
Penguins back in action last night. The Penguins and Marc-Andre Fleury comes back to visit as the Penguins host the Minnesota Wild. Fleury doesn't start, but gets a great home,
Oh yeah.
warm welcome chance. We went Fleury
Yep.
throughout the whole game. A lot of good things, a lot of respect, appreciation for that young gentleman, and rightfully deserved. I think that he's probably. I don't know if we can argue even that he is the
Hall
best
of Fame.
Penguins goalie ever.
Yeah, him and Tommy B. And
I always would used to say Tom Barrasso, but I think that I think
yeah,
that I would say
Marc-Andre Fleury. And he's what, third all time in wins, I
yeah.
believe. But yeah.
In the scoring of the 4 goals, Crosby had one, Gino had one, Gensel and Riley Smith had one.
Hey,
Penguins
all the people
improve.
you need to score.
Those are the people. Yeah,
Your top line in a bottom six, that's what you need.
yeah. The Penguins did improve to 14, 13, and 3, while the Wild dropped to 12, 13, and 4. The Crosby goal, and I believe he had an assist, maybe a couple assists, but I do know whatever it was, it did advance him even further past Mark Recchi. I'm not exactly sure who he's behind, whatever now, who he has to pass as far as career scoring, but he's, he never stops. The dude always puts points on the board. Even if he's not scoring goals, he's putting assists up. So Crosby's trotting along. Penguins' next game is Thursday evening at home against the Carolina Hurricanes, 7 p.m.
Let's go. Oh, the Hurricanes were screwed.
I know. Pittsburgh Pirates agree to terms with a veteran pitcher who just won the World Series, guys, Martin Perez. The
He did something.
Pirates agree to terms with Martin Perez, and guys, we're gonna get to see him in Major League Baseball opening day, 100 days from now, Mike. 100 days from now.
You know what? We start the countdown because Penguins are mediocre. The Steelers are collapsing. Maybe the Buccos are the ill to what we, or the cure to what ails us.
And the hardwood. Unfortunately, the former North Carolina standout NBA player Eric Montross passes away with cancer, age 52 years old.
Dang.
52.
Crazy. High school sports yesterday. I mentioned yesterday that Tyke Hayes did win the Post Gazette Player of the Year. Also, he wins the Trib HSSN Football Player of the Year for the Trib. And Coach Warfield, of course, the coach of Aliquippa, wins the 4A Coach of the Year.
Tyke might win it, back-to-back years like Tyler Boyd did.
There's a chance.
There's a chance. Dude is, God, 4-star recruit going to Penn State.
Pitt news. MJ Devonshire entering the draft. He confirms MJ Devonshire will be entering the draft this year.
Congratulations. I hope he has a good career, man. I always liked him.
And
Not
Mike,
a Pitt fan, but I like him.
Yeah. He has big play potential. I think there's definitely areas that he has to improve. But when you look at the other guys who were before him, and your Ty Laws and your Darrell Reeves, there's certainly areas I can see that MJ has to improve. But he has potential. He has big play potential, and all the luck to him. Mike Derpy, real quick before Mike starts on the website, I do want to say, with the game last night, the picks came out to a perfect 10-10 tie. Mike, you were down 10-9 yesterday. You took the Seahawks. Derpy took the Eagles. Yes. That turns it into a 10-10 tie. However, Mike overshoots the tiebreaker by 1 point. Your tiebreaker come out to 44. The tiebreaker was 43. Derpy picked 41. Therefore, Derpy does win this week's picks. Congratulations, Derpy.
Stick tap, Derpy, stick tap.
And with that being said, Mike, why don't you go and tell everybody about the website?
The2dumbyinjers.com. The2dumbyinjers.com. Head on over there. We have everything you need for the 2 Dumb Yinzers. All of our links are over there. The merch store is over there. And the blog is over there.
Go check it out, everybody. www.the2dumbyinjers.com. That's www.the2dumbyinjers.com. A lot of cool stuff. Mike does a lot of work over there. Go check it out. All right, guys, this question of the day is going to be a Cincinnati Bengal question because this is who the Steelers play this week on Saturday. Here we go, guys. Cincinnati Bengals trivia question of the day. What number one overall pick in 1995? I'm looking for a running back. Who was the running back that tore his ligament on the third carry of preseason? He was the number one overall pick in 95. This was a running back, and he tore his knee ligaments on the third carry of the preseason. Wow, that didn't take long. That was even quicker than Aaron Rodgers with his 4 plays into the season. But think that over, guys. We will check that out in just a moment. We are live. We're live, everybody, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, right here from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. If you missed the show or you just would rather listen to the show and, when driving or maybe you're at the gym, shopping, Christmas shopping, put your earbuds in. You could always listen to the newest show that we put up every day. We put up the new show that we do live at 8 o'clock p.m. over on Spotify. Check it out. All right, guys, the question of the day is this. Which running back, number one pick overall in 1995, tore his ligaments in his knee on the third carry of his first preseason game? I'm going to start with Derpy. Derpy, who do you think? Who do you think this unfortunate running back is?
Can I have choices?
I don't know. You have a,
No.
do you have a pick,
No.
Derpy? I could give you a hint. Can I give you? Is that all right? He's a Big Ten guy.
A Big Ten guy?
Yes. A guy out of the Big Ten.
95?
95. Is Derpy
I was not born yet.
Is Derpy enters the
That don't mean
keyword?
nothing.
It wasn't Ron Dane. It wasn't Willis McGahee. Or who was it? It was Will. I don't know. Who's
came from
who was the guy for Ohio State from that game though?
Was it Eddie George?
It was McGahee, Miami versus Ohio State, and they had a real good running back up there too.
I think it was Eddie George.
I said Eddie George.
Eddie George, is that your pick, Derpy?
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and I'll lock you in. Your final answer being Eddie George. Michael, in 1995, I'm looking for a running back who was the number one overall pick in the NFL draft. Unfortunately, this young man tore a ligament in his third carry of his first preseason game. Mike, who was this running back?
Kajana Carter.
Kajana Carter. Let's go ahead and lock Mike into place. Final answer, Mike?
Final answer.
All right. There we go. Guys, in 1995, the number one overall pick, he was a running back, tore his ligament in his third carry of his first preseason game. In fact, was Kajana Carter from Penn State.
Talk about an explosive running back. And then, boom, back then, ACL injuries were, you were done. You didn't come back from them. He didn't come back.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah, he started 4 games in 96. Only had 264 yards, but 8 touchdowns. 97, played 15 games, 464 yards, but 7 touchdowns. Then played 4 games over 2 years. Had a little comeback for Washington. Then the knee just was never the same.
Mike, look up real quick. Look up who the other. I don't think it was Eddie George in the Willis McGahee National Championship, Miami and Ohio State. Can you look up
it was Claret.
What'd you say?
Was it Maurice Claret?
Claret. That's who I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I met him. He's cool dude.
Is he?
Yeah,
Did you
good
touch his
guy.
hand?
That's his hand.
Yeah,
Did you?
yeah. I
All
met
right.
him at a conference for
Derpy.
like a men's conference
Okay.
for my church. He was pretty good guy.
Mike, do you got anything before we could get ready to take off, brother?
Um, come on, Mason. Win out to ruin the draft.
Yeah, and then you're
Everyone
gonna
loves
be
you, right? Everyone
and
loves
then
you
you're
right
gonna be
now.
miserable all off season
Everyone
now.
loves Mason Rudolph right now, but when the minute he wins 3 games, we miss the playoffs and we're picking in the 20s again, people are gonna hate him again, and everything will be right in the world.
Derpy.
I would like to thank the Academy on my win today and my mother for listening.
Hey, and you know what? That's Hollywood Derpy, baby. Uh, that's all that Academy stuff. That's Hollywood, right?
Yep.
All right. I want to say this. I do believe that KZ got screwed. I understand what the league is trying to say, but again, at the end of the day, there wasn't much more he could have did on that play. He's trying to make a play. If you let that guy land, the guy stands up and runs down the field and scores a touchdown. Now he's the whipping boy in Pittsburgh. So there's not much else he could did. I feel bad. I think that KZ should not be suspended for the rest of the
Exactly.
season. If you're going to suspend him, prove your point, give him a game. I do believe that KZ will probably appeal and he'll probably get something back out of this. And I hope that he does. Besides for that, anything else, guys?
I got nothing.
Derpy, speak now, forever hold your peace.
Let's go Mason Rudolph. Ruin.
All right.
Let's get a higher pick.
All right. There you go, everybody. For the 2 average white Yinzers, he's Mike. I'm Ryan. Derpy, everyone have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.